Hello, hello, hello. Hi, hi, hi. What's up, what's up, what's up? I hope everyone is safe and sound. And hey, 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 welcome back to our podcast, The Other Side, where you all know that we talk to industry leaders about people capability and employee engagement. We want to know what their plans are, we want to know what they are doing, and we want to know what is that they've planned for the first 100 days post the lockdown. Okay, so are you guys ready? We have a fantastic guest today with us. He is Gitesh Karnik. He is the Chief People Officer of one of the best fintech companies of India, and he brings in 25 years of experience. Oh my goodness me. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to this conversation. Are you guys ready? Ready? Let's jump right in and let's find out who Gitesh is.
One interesting fact about which people may not know is that my father was a general manager, uh, human resources. In those days, it was called personal management and IR. So I guess few of the dining table talks got me to this profession, and here I am talking to you as a result of that, I believe.
Okay.
So, so that's been the my initiation into HR has started from when I was having dinner with my father as a young teenager, probably. You know,
Wow.
so so that's where I am. Uh, as I said, Mumbai. I did my graduation from Mitibai College in Mumbai. I did my MBA from Nursi Monji, again from Mumbai. So most of it has been Mumbai for me
You
in
get
terms of.
some awesome vada paos in
Oh,
front of
absolutely you
my
do.
college.
Absolutely you do. So we pride about that. So pride about Haribai's chai at
Yeah.
Mitibai and vada pav and so on and so forth. So yeah. So that's
Awesome.
me. That's me. Yeah.
Awesome. And which part of Mumbai are you from?
So I'm from a place called Goregaon, which is in suburbs. So I
Yeah.
live and born and brought up there. So that's where I am.
So
Even
what,
now,
35, 40 years?
sorry.
35, 40 years Goregaon itself?
Oh wow, I look so young. Thank you for the compliment. Yeah.
Being
Yeah,
cautious.
yeah. So about 45 years, so to say, been here, born and brought up in this place. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. How's school been? So,
School was very close by, about 15 minutes walk from my house. So we used to literally walk to my school every day. Uh, been an okay journey in school. Not been a very bright student, but I guess the realization happened after I got into Mitibai College, and that's when the real journey started. But school has been fun as always. I mean, you hang around with your classmates. Have fun and try to be in teachers' good books all the time. And that's what you do. The school has been fun, fun. But college has been much more merrier for me than school, I would say.
awesome. Awesome. So, besides studies, what is Gitesh all about? I mean, any hobbies, any interests, any games, sports?
Yeah, so I am a sports enthusiast, so to say. So I play all these sports. I like to play all these sports. I may not say I'm good at any of them, but I'm master of jack of all, master of none, so to say. But I enjoy playing sports. Whether it's cricket, whether it's table tennis, whether it's lawn tennis, whether it's football, you name
Wow.
it. I like to play all of them. Yeah.
Wow.
Um, lately, I've been a photography enthusiast. So I
Awesome.
bought a Canon 550D and start clicking photographs and so on and so forth.
Oh, wow.
So that's been another one. So I keep doing that as a hobby. The two prominent hobbies, so to say, right now in terms of clicking pictures and and playing. Now the playing is shut for a while because of what is happening around us. But yeah, these are two things. Even in my company I work for, Nearby Technologies, we got the sporting culture. They always had a sporting culture, but we got into tournaments and we won some tournaments in football and so on and so forth. So my passion of sports have got into my work as well.
Oh, super nice.
So we also did that. So it's fun. Yeah, yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. And how has been your professional journey so far?
Very interesting. I mean, if you ask me the way it started off from where from, I mean, I maybe that one of those few HR professionals must have seen different kinds of industries, starting from IT, software development to ITS, moving to NBFC, then BPO back office, Having worked with now the fintech, in between still the reality business. So I've seen, the most of, in terms of industry that you might think of that one might want to work in, and I had the opportunity of working in quite a few. So yeah, that's been my exposure in terms of working in different industries, which has helped me to be a very adaptable person, because many a time different industries need to again learn the ropes of the business, because now HR is no longer HR, it's business HR. If you don't get the business right, you can't get the HR around it right.
Very nice. And did you find any difference in like IT, ITES, NBFCs? Any difference in people management?
So the one difference I would say is that in NBFC space, you work with a lot of distributed workforce as compared to you work in ITES or IT, but everybody are housed under one roof. Yeah. So working with a distributed workforce, it's a different challenge altogether.
Yeah.
Keeping in touch with them, aligning them to the organization vision, mission, purpose, showing them the big picture, having a constant engagement with them becomes a challenge, because for them, their manager is the world of all. So how do you really still stay connected with them and keep them connected to the organization? Becomes one challenge that every, I think, HR professional struggles with when it comes to dealing with distributed workforce.
Mm.
So that's one difference I saw, which was there in terms of handling a distributed workforce vis-a-vis ITES, IT, where people all work under one roof, and it's much easier to manage as compared to people working in distributed workforce. That's where the role comes in for business HR, saying how relevant are you to me in the context of the organization you're operating in, the environment you're operating in. And that's where the role of HR comes in, saying how do I bring it, how do I bring that expertise to the table, where I understand the business and I bring about programs which are relevant to the business, and not doing something which is required to be done from the hygiene perspective, which is
Right.
required, as I said. But you
Right.
need to bring in hygiene with along with your acumen of understanding business and aligning your HR agenda to the business agenda. And that's what the expectation of CEO is today. And how do you really, align that? So the finance function was able to align very immediately. It took us a while to do that, if you ask me. But I think, finally we are there.
Like
So
it.
what I
Like it.
so what I mean by that is, how do you really bring in talent acquisition? How do you bring in management training programs? How do you build a succession program? How do you create a learning and development program journey? So all of that has to be an HR agenda driven in business as well, but keeping in well business at the center of it.
How do you what are your initial takes on the current situation? And I think for you, I would say from January onward. So first the Yes Bank happened, then the lockdown happened. How have been you coping up with this, and what has been your lookout?
So I think the Yes Bank has been a much easier one to cope up with as compared to what you're seeing right now. So the teams really worked very hard, came together. Even the bank supported, so to say. Everybody was involved, in supporting at that point in time. So it was all stakeholders, including Yes Bank themselves, and and the other ecosystem around it, all came together to make it work. Right? This one can hit us, and this is something which no one has an answer to. I mean, you just, I mean, the word unprecedented has been overused now, so I wouldn't use it. But it's what it is. It's what it is. I think it's been a very different experience altogether.
So Gitesh, take me through the first 2 weeks of lockdown, the first 2.5 weeks. You know, how
Yeah,
did you, what started, what was the planning, what was the thought process, what was those knee-jerk reactions, everything.
certainly what, Raj. I mean, the company. One of the advantages we had is that we are a fintech. We are a tech-ready company, so to say. Right?
Yeah.
So that always gives you advantage in such situations where everything is based on remote management, and tech becomes your basic enabler to drive it. We kept ourselves ready with laptops and so on and so forth, and assuming that this is bound to happen, if you don't prepare ourselves. So I think we were fairly prepared in terms of how we're going to handle this to a great extent. So we were not struggling. So when the actual lockdown happened, we were pretty much there in terms of enabling people to work from home to a great extent. And we had to procure some dongles here and there, which was not much, but we managed that very superfluously. So if you ask me, there was not much of a challenge we experienced beginning our work from home. it's only when we started working from home, you should be asking how it's going thereafter. So that's when the real challenge started. So we were wondering how to really stay connected with the people. Do they have the infrastructure? Do they have the net speed required? Do they have the access to the files which are required? A lot of confidential information that we work with. How do you ensure that the confidentiality is retained? So all of those challenges happen as we worked along it. But I think having an advantage of working in a fintech is what really helped us to see through this first few weeks quite comfortably, I would say.
Okay.
And
And how was the people feeling?
People initially enjoyed it, but now they want to get back to office. Yeah, enough of work-life balance, enough of work from home. Work is going to office. Yeah, so I think that going to office thing is people are missing out on. And so initially people did have amount of challenges, but now initially the euphoria has now died down. And now people are wanting to come back to office and go to their work desk and work from there. But they also know it won't be the same thing all over again. It will be starting from scratch. Things would have changed. There'll be masks, sanitizers, temperature guns, all of that waiting for you in office. It's not going to be the same as it was earlier. So all of that is going to be very interesting when people really resume work. How it's going to really pan out. And one thing I'm fairly certain that 100% of people may not return to work for quite some time now.
Oh yeah.
I don't think so, because no companies want to risk employees. I mean, people are going to give people option whether you want to come to work in the current scenario.
Okay.
And I'm very certain that many families who are in that red zone and so on and the orange zones wouldn't want their family member to venture out. So we have to be cognizant of that.
Right.
It's not going to be 100% people returning to work anytime soon.
Right. And I think the work is happening any which ways.
And work is happening any which ways, in the same speed or in some areas better. I think everybody rose up to that challenge, and that challenge has been that trusting people that yes, you can work from home, and people demonstrating saying please trust in us, we can actually work from home. So I think that's been the biggest takeaway. The only challenge which I see is that if there's a famous Hawthorne study which was conducted way back in 1926, if I remember the year correctly. One of the findings, there were many findings which came from Hawthorne studies. One of the findings which came is that people like to work. Work is a social environment, and that social environment is missing. That will remain a challenge to see how will companies tide that over.
Or going to that smoking corner.
Yeah, the chai, smoking, all lunches, all of that, across the table meetings, all of that is I mean, that's something that people really miss, and it's something it's not, and it's irreplaceable if you ask me.
Yes. Is this here to stay?
I mean, whatever I read, if you ask me, Twitter has sent, I mean, read in newspaper that they are saying that people wouldn't return to work before December 20. TCS is talking about having 70% people over a period of time working from home. So, but I also believe one thing, Raj, is that we need to also ensure that there are rotations of people who are working from home to kill the monotony. You'll have to keep the flexibility on, saying that okay, today Raj is working from home. Maybe 1 week Raj works, 1 week Gitesh works, then Raj goes to office and Gitesh works from home. Because otherwise, as I said about the Hawthorne studies, I mean, then how does the social engagement of Raj will ensure that he connects with the rest of the organization, right?
That's a very interesting point. That's a very interesting point
So
of
we'll
view.
have to probably work something of those kind of thing, a hybrid model, so to say. The challenge that I find is managing distributed workforce, right? Today, the entire company is distributed workforce.
Yeah.
All are working from home.
Yes.
Right? It's 100% distributed workforce we're dealing with right now. So aligning them to the organization purpose, keeping them engaged with the organization, running programs which will make sense to them remotely, all of that will become a big challenge for HR fraternity to see how do you really you ensure that you stay connected with people, and that's where technology will play a big role. Your HRMS platforms, your LMS platforms, will play a very superior role in engage your chatbots and whatnot. Artificial intelligence, all of that you can think of, will come about alive, and we'll have to deal with it.
How's the learning been so far for people?
So we just recently signed up on a competency, development, program as well, where people are now assigned courses on software skills. So while the product and process and domain expertise are getting built anyways, budding on the job and so on and so forth, but we also now pushing programs on the software aspects. At the end, people are also, taking it with a lot of interest and signing up for these courses and completing them. So I think the learning has been on a upswing, if you ask me.
So I was leading to this employee engagement part of it. So capability, I understand the LMSs are back and they are in the forefront. How are you managing the engagement part of it? So mental stress, mindfulness, health. I think all that stuff also seems to be at the forefront now.
Yes, it is. So we have been doing some wellness series with the employees, to be honest. So we keep doing that. Uh, but I still feel that a lot can be done in that space. It's still just scratching the surface, if you ask me. We have something called as We Are Listening on our one of our portals, which is
Okay.
there. So we tell people to please come and share with us,
Okay.
you know and we encourage people to go and write there and talk to us about any field, work, non-work. Just we are listening, that's it. We're listening work, we're listening personal, we're listening, anything you want to talk to us about. So we are promoting that a lot more,
Okay.
so people can find an avenue to go and talk if they want to talk, because many a times you're not able to open up when you talk to people, right? Writing becomes much more easier, so we say please just write and we'll keep it anonymous, and just tell us what's happening. So right now the best thing is to speak to people, understand what they are feeling, and keep doing small engagement activities in a periodic way, that so that they also get involved and stay connected with the organization. So I
Right.
think communication channels opened up big time, and that's why you can reach out to people and understand what's happening in that space.
Do you think it's high time for organizations to have a wellness KPI?
Yes, in the current scenario, absolutely important. Wellness is required for companies to track whether work from home or whether it is work from office, and there are companies who do that quite well. There are so many organizations who do it as very well, irrespective of COVID. And those are companies we benchmark ourselves with and figure out how we can reach to their level of sophistication. But small company like ours, I think we should begin that in a certain way. So we have started our journey, but we're still not there. But I'm very sure there are many companies who are way ahead of the curve on wellness.
Yeah. Yeah. What is your 100-day plan, your vision, your thought process for your organization? That these are the 5 critical or 7 critical things that we will be doing post the lockdown.
So the 100-day plan is pretty much clear. First is figure out how many people will come to office. Go sanitize the workplace. Daily if required. If the population is going to come to office is quite high, ensuring that social distancing norms are maintained, ensuring that temperature guns and sanitizers, everything is in place. Norms for using your washrooms and so on and so forth. So all of that will have to be worked up, which is already worked out by the companies. It's just implementation of that. And all will depend upon how many eventually start coming to work. It's all upon the volume. If the volume is high, then you'll have to have that much more preparation. If volume is low, the preparation is the same, but you can still manage with less numbers more efficiently. So our plan is very clear. Ask people who want to come to work, and then work backwards on that. I
Right.
mean, that's all going to be. My barometer of success is people who come to work do not bring in, people who go home do not take it back. So in between is our responsibility as an organization to ensure how we provide that environment for them, and that's all.
No,
That's
I
all.
like that. I like that. So ensuring that when they come to office they're not carrying it, ensuring when they go back home they're not carrying it. So that's a brilliant thing. Any message for our listeners, specifically, different HR heads, consultants, training companies like us, or freelancers?
You need to ensure that we are staying connected with our people, either through personal connects or through virtual meetings or through webinars or through LMS programs, making them feel that they are not isolated and they're very much part of the organization while they work from home, and also telling them that this is just a temporary phenomena. Everything will get normal thereafter, but it will take a long time. But just keeping their well-being at the heart of what we do. I mean, it's all about people. In such scenarios, it's all about people, because work is happening. So how do you really ensure that people have the enablement to work? So somebody, other day, one of my colleague called me and said, Gitesh, I'm feeling a bit difficult to deal with my team. Could you help? I said, okay, fine. So we connected with the team. We spoke to them, asked them to be part of certain programs that we are driving. Told them to take some programs on webinars and also on LMS. So there are people who reach out to us, and say that, could you please talk to my team, because I feel somewhere that the fatigue is getting onto them. So being accessible, being available, giving that comfort to people, they can reach out to you, and you eventually reaching out to people is the crux of how do we handle this. There's no other way. There's no rocket science. It's very simple. HR is very simple. For the people that you're here, and that's what we do for. So stay connected, with your people. That's it.
So the care and the connect are the two big words that.
Yeah, I would say hygiene. Ensuring that salaries go on time. Ensuring that if you're onboarding people, then ensure that you're onboarding them in a similar spirit you would onboarded them had they been in office, right? So keep the spirit same. Don't let the spirit get diluted just because you're not in office. And HR is all about spirit. The spirit has to be there. If the spirit is right, people can feel it, right? So if you can do it with the spirit and the vigor, then it's there. It's all about spirit, end of the day. And it reaches to people. People can feel it. Even if people can even feel it over a video call or a phone call, that you really mean what you do.
Yep, that's true.
So that's all about it.
That's true. And what will Gitesh do after the lockdown, the very first day?
Go to work. Even my kids are probably wanting to go to work. Even my kids don't want to go to work, saying, office jaao yaar, bas ho gaya. So I think, yeah. And yes, of course, you rightly said, dig into that vada pav that you're missing, so.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, the more I'm talking about it, I'm thinking about that stall only. I'm like,
have you been there ever? You should, if you.
Oh, yeah. I've been a lot. It's a very good view. So in the evenings there are long lines there.
Yeah.
They're very difficult to even park the car and all that stuff.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I spent about 7-8 years of my life on that street.
Wow.
Mithai and then Narsimha Monji both were in the same vicinity.
Yeah.
So yeah. So we really used to miss it when we left our college. We used to really miss it.
Yeah, those were the days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, super nice. Thank you so very much for taking time out and talking to us. It was brilliant insights. I hope that somebody somewhere listen to this conversation and do take away one or two key aspects that you have mentioned, which is HR spirit, care, and connect. So thanks a ton. Appreciate your time.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
How was it? How was the conversation? Simple, huh? Simple, sweet, to the point. No jargons. Clear head. All he wants us to do is practice HR spirit. And what does he mean by it? Keeping employees at the center of whatever we are doing. And 3 simple formula. Connect with our employees, be accessible, care about them, and show it by different employee engagement activities. And last Very simple. Enable them. Give them the tools, give them the systems to do the job the best possible way. And that's it. That's about it. The success mantra for him after the lockdown will be, when people start coming to office, will be making sure employees are not bringing the virus with them to the office and not taking the virus with them when they go back home. Full stop. Listen, practice HR spirit. That's the best thing that we can do today to support our employees. Before I leave you guys, let me remind you, please subscribe to our YouTube channel for similar learning stories and experiences. It's Break Free Consulting on YouTube. And also you can subscribe to our podcast handles: Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, and all you have to search for is Break Free to the Success Side. That is the main handle. Break Free to the Success Side. Well, hey, till we meet again, please take care of yourself. Please stay safe and most importantly, stay connected. I will see you guys with the next guest very, very soon. Cheers. Bye bye.